Hey guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. I am in my car, so you should already know what this means, and if you don't listen, it's okay. I'll explain. I haven't made one of these videos in such a hot minute, and honestly, I hate saying that because this is easily one of my favorite series on my channel, and that is my Girl Talk series. So Girl Talks is basically a series where I answer any awkward or embarrassing questions you may have, but you don't feel too comfortable asking someone that you know, so you ask me, a stranger on the internet. Basically, I'm gonna try my best to put on my big sister pants and answer your questions, because listen, it's not easy. I know it's not easy, and it's especially not easy because a lot of things that we deal with, a lot of people don't talk about for some reason, and we go through and deal with a lot. Anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, I definitely recommend checking out my Girl Talk series, and of course giving this a thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on those post notifications. Now let's get right into the questions. First category is periods, and this question says, okay, so I saw on TikTok someone said period product companies actually sometimes add chemicals to make periods longer, so you have to purchase more. My question is, whenever you have used things other than pads or tampons on your period, have you ever noticed it was shorter? Also, if this was seriously true, shouldn't that be very illegal? Oh honey, you have just opened Pandora's box with me. Yes, it should be very illegal, shouldn't it? But here's the catch. So when it comes to menstrual products, the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, they're basically the people that are like, you can't use this ingredient, you have to show your ingredient list, blah, blah, blah. Let's say like the brand, and this is just to say a brand name. Let's say the brand Always doesn't have their ingredients list on their box. They don't have to. The FDA says they do not have to have that ingredient list on their box. So whether or not some period companies actually are putting really bad chemicals in their menstrual products, we're not entirely sure. We can assume they do, assume they don't, which is why I appreciate brands that are very transparent and open about what goes into their products. There's no reason for you to not show your ingredient list. If there's nothing to hide, why hide it? So that being said, when I go shopping for period products, and honestly y'all, I only use reusable products now. I am a fiend, and actually brought some to show you along. I only use reusable pads and reusable period underwear. Whether or not it shortened my period or made my period easier, I can't exactly tell because I am on birth control. So my birth control makes my period kind of all over the place. I do still have a pretty long period. I'd say my period's anywhere from like 7 to 10 days, maybe even longer, and I'll bleed on and off. So I haven't noticed a difference in length. I have noticed a difference in peace of mind, and I think that's something better than nothing. I do feel a lot better knowing that this, for example, this brand is called Hannah. They used organic, unbleached, undyed cotton. I feel more peace of mind knowing this is what's going on or near my vagina, and I can reuse it. When I buy disposable products, and that's like keeping emergency kits or whatever, I tend to go for brands that are, again, transparent about what they use, and I go for brands that are especially women-owned and organic. Women-owned because I trust someone that has the parts to take care of my parts. I also don't trust brands that are owned by bigger brands. And this is me personally. I, again, am not claiming that these brands do or do not do this. I'm just saying I like to cover my tracks. There's a brand called This Is Elle. This Is Elle claims that they're clean or organic, but they are owned by Procter & Gamble. And Procter & Gamble owns Always and Tampax, two other huge period brands. So I'm like, if you can have a clean line with clean ingredients, why can't you do that for the rest of your brands? So it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just stuff like that I'd rather be safe than sorry and not take the risk. But again, not everyone has the luxury to really pick and choose what period products they can or can't use. So it's just do whatever you think is best for you. And by the way, I'll product tag these. This is KT by NYX, and this is Hannah Scents. If you're into disposable, some great brands are Lola. I absolutely love Lola. There's also the Honey Pot, and there's Flo, and there's the Period Company. There's a lot. Those are just the ones that came off the top of my head, but I'll do my best to product tag them. How do I know if my period flow is heavy, medium, or light? So this really depends on how often you have to change your period products. If you see that you're bleeding through a pad really fast and you have to change it in like 3 hours, you probably have a heavy flow. If you see that you don't have to change your pad for like 8 hours, you probably have a light flow. But it also depends on what type of product you're using. If it's the second day of your period and you have a really heavy period and you're wearing a regular tampon instead of a super, you might go through those quicker. So this is just something that you learn as you go and you start to realize as you get more periods. I haven't gotten my period in 2.5 months. I haven't told anyone what should I do if I don't get it. So obviously, if you haven't gotten your period for a few months, number one thing is take a pregnancy test. If you've had sex in the last 9 months, no brainer. There are so many things that can affect your period, and I'm talking like stress, diet, exercising, weight, birth control. Also, if you're new to periods, if you just got your first period and you don't see your period again for a couple months, that's normal. It'll take a bit for your period to get regular. Like, I think it's anywhere from 2.5, almost 3 years for your period to finally get regular after having your first one. If you're really concerned about it, go see a gyno. I'm not a professional, and I should have put that disclaimer out there first. Y'all, not a professional. Speak to a professional if you're actually really concerned about something. Are pains that go straight through you on your period normal period pains? So this is what sucks about having a period. I feel like we have a very high pain tolerance, and we have learned how to deal with and put up with a lot because of our periods. Period pain is normal, it's expected. If it's excruciating period pain, like if it feels like daggers in your skin and they last a long time and it's like every time, you might want to get that checked out. It could be something deeper. It could be more than just meets the surface. Again, I genuinely just believe it's always to be better safe than sorry, and I will always say that because it could be something else. It could be PCOS. It could be endometriosis, that really long word. It could be something like that. So if you find that your pain is like really, really bad and really unbearable, check it out. Also, I have a series called Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. A lot of that period pain ended up being a baby. So pregnancy test and talk to a gyno. Next category is dating. My boyfriend wants to be poly, and I kind of want it, but I'm really insecure about it. Is it a good idea? So if you don't know what poly is basically being in a relationship with like multiple people, like having multiple partners. If you kind of want it, but you're kind of insecure about it, then you don't want it. If you want something, you want something. You don't have to convince yourself that you want something. And it's totally okay to be insecure about this. I know I would never be able to handle a poly relationship. I want my partner's attention and theirs only. And I want them to only want my attention and mine only. And that's it. And that's just me. Some people are different. Some people can be in open relationships, or some people can have multiple partners. If you know that you are not that person, or if you are questioning and feeling insecure about it, I would say no. But again, you know, if it's something you want to try, you can try it. But I would go into it telling my partner, this is how I feel. Honesty is key. Be transparent. I'm open to the idea. I'm not sure how I'd react to the idea. Just be patient with me. And that's the thing. If you have a significant other, you should be able to communicate stuff like that with them. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you might want to take a step back and look at the relationship as a whole. What do? I still love him, but he cut me off. Sis, listen, the amount of times I've been ghosted by a man I thought I loved. I want you to remember one thing and one thing only when it comes to dating and relationships. You are the prize, and there is always someone out there that will recognize that. Stop chasing people that clearly do not want you. And if you're getting like mixed signals or stuff like that, or you're just like, I can convince them, I can change their mind, don't waste your breath. You want someone that knows and acknowledges that you're an incredible human being, you're awesome, and they want to be with you, and that they love you and care about you. You don't want to have to convince someone or chase someone to feel that way towards you. And if you do, learn to cut them off cold turkey. The way he cut you off, you cut him off too, because you deserve so much better. And don't let you be the one that gets in your way of that. And that's the tea. My boyfriend and I have been together for 13 months now, and I absolutely love him, but I don't find him the most attractive person. Is it normal? What should I do? So I've never been in this situation where I had a partner and I wasn't attracted to them. People always say beauty and attraction isn't everything, it's shallow. No, it does matter though. Like if you're not attracted to the person you're with, I do think that could be a questionable thing, because it's like you should be attracted to the person you're with. You should be attractive mentally and physically. If you really love your partner but you're not attracted to them, I would kind of take a step back from the relationship and think, does this affect and impact my relationship? I would also ask myself, do I want to be with other people? Do I see an attractive person on the street and I'm like, I really want to date them, I want to kiss them, I want to do things with them, I want to be with them? If you find yourself answering yes to those two questions, then that's maybe a thing to be like, okay, so maybe this relationship isn't working out. Maybe we need to work on some things, or maybe I need to end the relationship. So it's really just like thinking long term. Is that something you're okay with? And that's really it. It starts with you. All relationships that you're involved in start with you. My crush is giving me mixed signals by one day acting like a friend, and then the other day he's constantly flirting with me. It's confusing me so much and I don't know what to do. So been there, done that. And it's a lot of this cat and mouse game with guys. And again, what I said about chasing someone for their attention, you don't have to. So what I would do in this situation is, if this guy is flirting with me and then acting like we're friends one day, okay, cool, I'm gonna give him that same energy. Don't have expectations. Don't expect anything from him or anything to come from the situation. And if you find that you don't like it and it's only hurting yourself, remove yourself from the situation. I do like to think that if guys wanted it, they would go for it. So if you see that he's not really initiating it or taking it a step further, then either do nothing or you you initiate and you take it a step further. That's also probably the best way to find out if your crush likes you. And I know this is so much easier said than done, but straight up ask them. And if it's a no, cool. You got rejected, but such is life. It happens. Now you can move on and find someone that has an interest in being with you. I wouldn't take it to heart. I would just go with the flow, try not to get upset about it. And if it upsets you so much, then either confront him or just drop him. Now, sex. When is a good time to get on birth control? When I told my dad I started dating, he told me I needed to start taking the pill, but I don't have any use for it yet. You get on birth control when you have a use for it or a need for it. Birth control is also used for so many other things than just sex. For example, my friend is a lesbian. She's not gonna get pregnant. She can go get inseminated, but she's not gonna get pregnant by a penis. But she is on birth control for her blood. She had really heavy periods, and it helps make those periods easier and better to deal with. So it really just depends on your situation. That's something to definitely talk to a doctor or a gyno about. If you're having sex and you don't want to get pregnant, you should get on birth control. If you have really bad acne and you have no other solutions, could be an option. Heavy periods, birth control could be an option. I have a video on everything you need to know about birth control, so I definitely check that video out. Is your first time having sex awkward? Does it hurt? Again, every situation is different. Every person is different. It could be awkward. It might not be awkward. For the most part, I want to say 99% of the time it is awkward. You're doing something you've never done before. You're feeling things you've never felt before. It's weird, and that's okay that it's weird. Whether about it hurting or not the first time, it didn't hurt for me. It might hurt for you. It might hurt for someone. It might not. It really just all depends. I've also heard about bleeding. Didn't happen to me. It might happen to someone else. It's just very situational things, and it's not something you can really explain or describe until it happens to you, because it's so different for everyone. But more than likely, you can't expect it to be weird and awkward. That's okay. It's not like the movies, romance movies, TV shows making it look like it's this grand gesture and it's amazing and phenomenal. It's usually not like that. It's not like it is in porn either. And if it is, I rest my case, but just be safe. Please wrap it up. Can you get an STD/STI or UTI from a dirty sex toy? So an STD is a sexually transmitted disease, an STI is a sexually transmitted infection, and a UTI is a urinary tract infection. I've actually gotten UTIs from antibiotics and from a tampon I left in too long, apparently. That being said, when it comes to sex toys, I didn't want to talk out of my butt, so I straight up Googled it. And I understand if you may have been too embarrassed to Google it. No shame. I'll do it for you. I have no shame. STIs and STDs, those are diseases and infections you get by having sex with someone, coming in contact with their genitals, skin to skin type of stuff. But you actually can still get those from dirty sex toys. Here's what the interweb says. You can't spontaneously get a sexually transmitted infection from a sex toy. To get an STI from a sex toy, it has to have been used by a person who had an STI and then they didn't properly clean it before giving it to you. So this is basically why it's super important to clean your sex toys. Not only could you possibly get an STI, you could get a yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, or a urinary tract infection from a sex toy. Even if the other person doesn't have one of those, if you have a vagina, the bacteria from their bits could throw off the pH levels in your bits and maybe cause one of those infections. So again, this is just why it's super important to clean your sex toys. You know that rule of like wipe front to back? Think about it that way when it comes to toys too. If you use a toy in your butt, don't use it in your coochie right after. Get that cleaned, because you can also get infections that way, and that can actually lead to more infections. And I'll actually link this article. It seemed really helpful and answered a lot of questions. How should I ask my boyfriend to start using a vibrator when we have sex? Just like that. I feel like as women, we feel bad when we're having sex with men because we are so scared of harming their masculinity. We're so scared of insulting them, which is why so many women will lie about having an orgasm just because it's not happening and you want it to end, or you don't want to make your partner feel bad. Stop worrying about that and worry about yourself. That dude is there to just get his nut. You should be there to just get your nut too. So don't be ashamed to tell him, hey dude, this ain't cutting it for me. This is doing absolutely nothing for me. If you know a vibrator could help do something for you, say that. And if your partner is respectable and a decent partner, they will totally welcome it with open arms. And if you find yourself with a partner that doesn't want you using a vibrator or is insulted that you haven't finished, then like find a new one. Next category is body. Is it normal for one nipple to be larger than the other? So you know that saying about eyebrows, they're sisters, not twins. That's how I feel about boobs. It's okay for a boob to be bigger than the other. I'm assuming it's gonna be the same for your nipple or your areola as well. We all got that one bigger boob, and if you don't, I'm I'm kind of jealous. How do you figure out what you like with yourself? So I don't know if this is like mentally, if this is hobbies, it's interests, or if this is sexually, but I'm gonna leave it general. The only way to figure out what you like with yourself is by trying different things and experimenting with different things to figure out what you do like. You never know until you try. So if there's something that piques your attention, check it out. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Now you know. You'll discover if you really like something or if you really hate something. So don't knock it till you try it. Should I shave my downstairs area? I've done the sides for dance, but it's so much work to keep up with. Is it more sanitary to keep it clear? So here's the beautiful thing about your vagina. Your vagina is self-cleaning. You really don't need product that are to help clean your vagina because your vagina will clean itself. The thing that you should worry about is the vulva, which is the outside, like the lips, like that area, what you see. That, honestly, all I do when it comes to cleaning is warm water and a tiny bit of sensitive skin soap. No fragrance soap or anything like that. I'm not trying to irritate my skin down there. When it comes to shaving, it's a personal preference. Shaving is always whether you want to shave or whether you don't want to shave. It's completely up to you because it's your body and your choice. I do have a video on my channel about how to shave down there. If you want to go check that out, you definitely can. If you don't want to shave, because razor bumps are a bitch and razor bumps are really annoying and can be very annoying on the vagina, you can always trim. You know, like in a manicure set, those little tiny scissors, go in there and trim the bush. You don't have to worry about your hairs being really long or coming out the sides, and you also don't have to worry about razor bumps. Why does Walmart say I'm not even an A cup? Doctor confirmed I'm a B, but Target says I'm a C, and Victoria's Secret says I'm a triple D. What? I will never forget when I went into Victoria's Secret, my bra size checked or whatever, and they said I was like a double D or a double F or something like that. And I was like, what the hell is that? I know damn well I am not that. So here's the thing about retailers and clothing companies, fashion companies, or whatever. There's this thing called vanity sizing, where basically these brands create their sizes based on the consumer they want. So this is why you're like a size 6 in one store, but a size 8 in another store. It's because they're not going off of a solid just one size, I guess, table. They're making their own. And it's kind of evilly genius because let's say you go to Forever 21 and in Forever 21, you're a size 4. But if you go to H&M, you might be a size 8 for some reason. Who are you going to shop at again? Forever 21, because it makes you feel better about being a size 4 and they make you think you're smaller and think you're a size 4. When in reality, you could actually be a size 6, you know? Vanity sizing is a pain in the ass. It's a thing though. So really just find a pair or a brand of bras that you like and just base off of that size. Just know it's not you that's crazy. It's these companies that are making you crazy and messing with your head and manipulating you. How can you get rid of razor bumps? I don't think you can actually really get rid of razor bumps. I think the most you can do is prevent razor bumps or alleviate razor bumps. To be honest, I still get razor bumps, even when taking all the precautions possible. They're not as bad, but I still get them. I don't know if there's actually a way to stop razor bumps from happening other than like getting laser hair removal or getting like wax or getting whatever other way you can remove hair on your body. The biggest tip I can give you is to shave in the direction that your hair grows. Don't shave against the grain. Shaving against the grain makes you more prone to razor bumps and also makes you more prone to ingrown hairs. And our last category is relationships. I am always the person to reach out and start conversations. Does that mean I don't really have good friends or am I overthinking it? This is me to a T. I was this person for the longest time. I was always the one starting the conversations. I was always the one texting, always the one asking to hang out. And it got to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got busy with life and I also got tired of it. So it did get to the point where I stopped reaching out to people. And so many people stopped reaching out to me simply because I wasn't there to initiate that connection. So it failed to exist because I wasn't the one carrying it. And that's okay. I don't want to say the trash took itself out because they weren't bad people. It's just, that's life. Sometimes, you know, you outgrow your relationships. Not every single friendship is supposed to last forever. Some people are only meant to be in certain phases of your life, and that's okay. I think that's just something that you kind of have to come to terms with yourself and not overthink it. For me, I did have friends that started to reach out instead of me doing it. And that's when I was like, okay, so these are the people that value having a relationship with me. And these are my friends. These are people I should keep watering and giving my time to. While the ones that didn't, I was like, okay, good to know I don't have to keep wasting my time. So if you want to do that, like if you want to stop being the one to to always reach out, you can try it. But just understand that you could be disappointed and don't expect anything. What should I do if these popular boys think me and my boyfriend hooked up, but we didn't, and they told their friends? Here's what I would do. I would simply not care. Because at the end of the day, people are always going to talk. People are always going to say what they want to say and believe what they want to believe, hear what they want to hear, see what they want to see. What matters is that I know my truth. I know how the story goes. That's what matters. If someone else wants to talk to add a little spice to their life, maybe they're bored out of their minds, so be it. If you show that it bothers you, then you're only giving them more fuel and you're only encouraging them to keep doing it and keep continuing with it. If you show them that it doesn't bother you at all, they're gonna be like, oh, well, that's no fun. Pay people no mind. People are always gonna talk. I also find that the more you try to fight something, the more guilty you end up looking. Like if you're more defensive, then people are really gonna be like, oh, then why are you so defensive? Any sort of reaction fuels people, so just give them no reaction. I'm almost 17 and I didn't have a boyfriend yet, but I feel like all other girls already had like at least one relationship. Is there something wrong with me? If there is something wrong with you, then there is something extremely wrong with me because I didn't get my first serious boyfriend until I was 22 years old. There is nothing wrong with that. Every person has a different story, a different life path, a different plan, whatever you want to call it, destiny, fate, whatever. If someone is doing this at this age, that doesn't mean you also have to do it at that age. You may be meant to do it at this age or at another age or another time. It just wasn't the right time for you, and that's okay. I kind of just let the relationship come to me. And whether it came to me at 17 or 22, that was fine, you know. There is nothing wrong with you at all. And guys, stop thinking that way. I didn't get my first kiss until I was 14. She had hers at 11. It doesn't matter who did what at what point in their life. This isn't a race. It's not a competition. Your life is your life and yours only. You're okay, I promise. And the last question is, how to keep a friendship going when your friend is dating someone and you never hang out with your friend because her and her boyfriend are always together. This isn't so much a you thing. This is so much of a friend thing because you are the available party. Your friend is not so much. If this was happening to me and I really cared about my friendship and I really valued my friend and I really wanted to see my friend and it really bothered me, I'd sit them down and I'd be like, we're not spending as much time together. And I don't mean to offend you and your partner at all. My mic fell, but I just feel like we're not spending as much time as we used to and I want to spend more time with you. And if your friend really cares about you and their friendship, they would make an effort and they would realize that and they'd be like, I'm sorry, I would love to make more time for you, and they'd make a change. Point being, if something bothers you and you bring it up to the person that is creating the thing that bothers you and they genuinely care about you, they will make an effort to do better. If you find that they're not, then were they really a friend? And I know that's hard to hear, but it's like, think about it. If they wanted to make time for you, they would. And that goes for any relationship. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you guys out, answered some of your questions. If it did, give us a big thumbs up. If you have any other questions or any advice or any scenarios you need advice on, please leave that in the comments below. We are here for each other. I'm always here for you. I love to help you as much as I can because I wish someone was there for me. So if I can be that person for you, mission accomplished. If you want to see more, definitely make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss them. Shout out of the day goes to Aru on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you would like to be shout out of the day, just follow your girl on Instagram and stay active. And if you need any more help, check out my Girl Talk series. I have probably answered a question before, maybe. If I haven't, let me know and I will most definitely try my best to answer them and make another episode. So make sure you're around to see that. But all that being said, I hope you're staying safe out there and I hope you're wrapping it up. And I love you guys. Okay, bye.